Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Varus updated complete guide. And of course this is going to be for the Varus rework. So of course, as usual, don't forget to check out Varus's updated basic guide that I just put up for his skills, leveling order, tips and tricks, as well as a couple of combos. But with that said, now let's jump straight into talking about the items, runes, and the spells. So I personally think currently that on-hit Varus is the best way to actually play Varus at the moment. Right, so of course, we know that Varus can build on-hit lethality, AP, as well as crit. Right, but I think that on-hit is the best way to build him. So what's the on-hit build? It's literally the same as the last patch, right? So last patch, of course, Essence Reaver into Triforce is going to be the best, but currently now, I think this is probably what's best. So you want to go for Gluttonous Greaves as your first item for the AD and the Omni-Vamp. Then you want to go into Terminus, AD attack speed, on-hit magic damage, stacking resistances, stacking penetrations, and then of course you have Runaan's Hurricane to of course proc your Blight onto 3 targets at once, as well as just attacking 3 people together, applying on hit, etc. Then of course you have your on hit item, Blade of the Rune King, on hit current health damage, as well as of course Drain passive, more attack speed, more AD, physical vamp. All good, right? So here we actually go for Riftmaker, because I think Riftmaker is actually one of the best items for Varus, because Riftmaker gives you Omni-Vamp, gives you the true damage, and of course also just gives you some very nice stats. Really easy to stack up when you're just going in there auto-attacking. And yeah, last item we go for Twin Guard just for the extra level of safety. You could also go for other items such as Maw, for example, even the Wit's End, but I think Wit's End is a pretty weak item at the moment after the nerf. For the runes, of course, Lethal Tempo for the attack speed and range, Brutal cause you auto attack a ton, Giant Slayer to counter the tanks, Alacrity for more attack speed, as well as Bone Plating for the defensive capabilities. And of course, for the summoner spells, you want to go for Flash together with Cleanse if you need it, or if not, you can go for Ghost. Of course, Barrier and Exhaust are always options as well. So with all that said, let's jump straight into taking a look at the gameplay. Okay, so now moving on to the gameplay. Of course, as usual, before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Of course, you know I will be sure to address them. But with that said, now let's move in to the gameplay section of the video. So now, firstly, you guys can already see from the title that this is going to be a gameplay where I'm better than 100% of Varus's at this rank. And I think this game was played at Emerald 2 being the start of the season. And we're also rocking the new silver chroma on Darkstar Varus, which I do like myself, but I know some people are not really a fan of it. And we are against a Zyra Khan duo. So the first thing I kind of wanted to cover is what's going on with Varus, right? So I think that this season, my most played champions so far are Varus, Lucian, as well as MF. Of course, MF is completely busted. But Varus and Lucian I think is kind of good, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in the Lucian video. Now let's talk a little bit more about Varus himself, right? So Varus is who used to be the best ADC for like the last year or so, right? So I looked at the changes that Varus got, and pretty much it's a buff, right? So now after that wonky 1000% AD, AP, and attack speed text on the patch notes, I went to look in the actual game itself, and basically what that is after you kill a minion, monster, or a champion, you basically get a little bit of AD, AP, and attack speed. So basically, that is basically a buff, right? Because aside from getting only attack speed, you get AD and AP as well. And if you kill like minions before the fight and you get your passive kind of stacked up, then you're gonna go into a fight with even more stats, right? And then you kill someone, you get, you know, stats again, which of course always was the case, so it's just a very, very good thing in general, right? As here, we are having a very over-aggressive Zai. We flash forward to finish the kill onto her, ward into the bush just to finish her off, and here we are also going to get the Rakan, but Mbessa now comes in for the cleanup onto the Janna, and then we are in a 1v1 against her. That shield is huge, by the way, and we ended up dying to her. A little bit unfortunate there. But yeah, so technically, the passive got a huge buff, right? Q, I think, got a huge buff as well, because now it increases damage with charging time, and they didn't reduce the base damage and compensation or anything like that, so it's a huge buff. W also kind of gets mostly a huge buff. The nerf part is to the percent health damage of the W, but the on-hit damage is increased, and you can actually get cooldown refund on the W. So what I noticed with the new Varus is you don't really have to be as selfish with your W. Last time you gotta find that crucial moment to pop your W, but now you can actually kind of pop your W early, because when you detonate, you're actually going to be able to refund the W anyways. So there's no reason not to pop W early now. So E doesn't change at all, Alt doesn't change at all. So basically it's a buff to passive, it's a buff to Q, and it's more or less a buff to your W, right? Because even though your W does a bit less percent health damage, you get it up more often. So I would say that's just a buff to W in general, right? So it's essentially a buff to 3 abilities. So I read the patch notes, I'm thinking that there's no way Varus still isn't the best champ, right? But when I actually play him, even though he apparently got buffed on 3 things, he doesn't really feel as strong. And I can't say that it's because he lost Essence Reaver. That's true, he did lose Essence Reaver, but even in the previous patch, I was playing Varus on hit, I was playing Varus AP. But in this patch, he just doesn't seem to do as much damage as what he did in the last patch, as we execute a dive on Rakan here. And Xayah gets kicked towards me. I'm gonna have to kind of sidestep the feathers. Lee Sin now goes in, Kassadin as well, and Xayah and Rakan are not having a good day whatsoever. We're now 3-1-1. Lovely start to the game. So I'm thinking, if Varus got buffed on everything, why does he feel so much weaker? And to answer that question is, I really don't have an answer. He really just does feel weaker. He in theory, he is better, right? In the sense that he's gone stronger in terms of his stats and everything, but he just doesn't feel very good to play. So there's no way Varus is in the S plus tier in my opinion. He might be S tier, he might be A plus tier, but he's not S plus tier for sure. So he just doesn't feel very strong. And honestly, I've tried out Lethality. I think Lethality is probably the worst Varus build you could play. I've tried AP, I've tried Crit. I think probably the best is on hit, followed by Crit and AP being second and third place. And Lethality is probably the worst build you can go, right? Because you don't have Essence Reaver anymore. You kind of have an awkward choice of what crit items to go, like, you know, Youmuu's. Do you go like Youmuu's first item, or do you go Duskblade first item, and then do you go for like Serpent's Fang or Edge of Night, or what do you go for? Or do you go for like Manamune of all things, right? Like, because now Manamune basically does Essence Reaver's job for it, and that just is a little bit awkward, right? So Lethality Varus in a bit of a weird spot at the moment. Not quite sure what you should build on him. Maybe I gotta test that out a little bit more. But from my testing so far, I do think that the on-hit build that I'm showing in this video is going to be the best build to go on Varus. Right? And you guys will see why in the later fights. We basically play some fights insane, and we are able to get off some good plays. So here, since we're 4-1 in lane, it's an atypical match where we get pretty fed in lane, right? So here, we're trying to push our advantage by playing a little bit aggressive and just trying to get in some free damage from our autos and our spells, which if you were not a hit, you may not be able to do, but we are indeed able to do that. We're actually able to complete our Terminus at this point, and we can now hit over to back to the lane and you know, be in an even stronger scene. Now Xayah she only has a cloak and she only has like boots, right? So she's not in a very good spot right now. She is gonna get the recall off with Rakondo, and she is building toward the Bloodthirster first item, which obviously is the default first item for majority of ADCs. Now here Dragon is up, so we're gonna be hitting Dragon. Enemy jungle and Bessa nowhere to be seen. However, we do have Morgana here, as well as Xayah and Rakan are coming here. The secure does come in from the Sin, as Mbessa secures the Herald in exchange. And now we're headed back to the lane, back to the laning phase, and back to punishing Xayah and Rakan, hopefully. Thing to note is that all summoner spells are up. Another thing to note is that very commonly Rakan steps up aggressively, right? And you might be very tempted to ult the Rakan, but you shouldn't do that, because if I ult him here, for example, like what I just did here, he's just gonna jump away to Xayah like exactly here. And the thing is that I kind of knew that was gonna happen, but I did it anyway. Like, it's kind of really strange, right? Like, you know it's gonna happen, but you're gonna do it anyway. So here, Xayah chooses to flash forward to go for the kill onto the Janna. Now, I had a choice between going for Xayah or going for Rakan. Now, I think that in hindsight, maybe I should have gone for the Rakan, because my initial thought process is maybe I can kill Xayah and save Janna, but I think Janna was a bit too low to be saved, so I think she was going to die anyway. If I gone for Rakan, there's a chance I pick up a double, because Xayah is not going to be stuck between the tower and me, so I don't think she's going to get out. So maybe I should have gone for Rakan instead, and then greeted for like a double kill onto the Xayah. Maybe that was the play. Anyways, here I want me to snipe that 1 HP Yasuo, and I do get the shutdown. Now here Morgana as well as Ambessa are kind of chasing me into the tower. I'm forced to cleanse because I get hit by the Morgana root, and I don't want to be... there's no chain CC to be had because Ambessa doesn't have ult, I think, at that point, but I don't want to get just bursted down while I'm stuck in the root, right? So I'm going to pop the cleanse and just run back to the base. Now 6-1-1 with the shutdown on the Yasuo as well. Now most spent member in the game at the moment is actually the Ambessa with a 4-0-3 scoreline. Of course, she did kill me once. Now here, Kassadin is getting 4-man dove, but he and Janna are actually holding them off. So now here I miss my ulti, but I'm going to be able to get down my damage onto the Ambessa, bursting her down. Rakan next target, Rakan goes down. Now Xayah is the next target. She's gonna ult for the feathers. She chooses to once again kill Janna by repositioning herself in a position where the feathers will kill Janna. But as a result, she doesn't hit me with the feathers, which means that I can just free hit on her and she is gonna die. Now I don't think that was a bad decision by her because I do think that she was gonna die anyway regardless. I don't think that there is a world where she roots all three of us and walks away. So I do think she was gonna die anyway, so going for the trade kill is not a bad idea. So now we're able to pick up that tower as well. We're gonna complete our Runaan's Hurricane off of those kills and that tower, and we're actually 9-1-1 in 9 minutes, right? So it's like average of 1 kill a minute. We're definitely doing very, very well in this particular game. Our team, on the other hand, not doing so well, right? You can see that we are basically losing in all lanes except our lane, right? I mean, technically Kassadin is actually winning against Morgana, but you can see there's a huge top lane difference, like 3k gold difference, and jungle is also almost a 3k gold difference. So yeah, so here we're going to ult the Ambessa. Ambessa actually goes untargetable, not untargetable, but CC immune. Now here I'm just kiting away. I'm finishing the 2 low HP targets first. Now I'm moving on to Ambessa. Now thankfully we are able to get the Ambessa. Now Yasuo is on me. I'm going to flash away because he's on top of me. He's going to free hit me, and we can't have that, right? So we flash away from the Yasuo. Lee Sin goes in on him. I'm going to pick up the fruit. Lee Sin dies, and unfortunately Kassadin dies as well, so there's not a lot I can do in this situation to help them. So I'm going to just walk away, right? In fact, there's no helping them because they're already dead, right? And I don't want to follow them to the grave. So now at this point, there's no real waves to farm. Xayah's going to be pushing in that top wave, so it's going to be farmable very, very soon. Which is why I'm positioning myself back to the top lane. But on the way, I just pick up the wolves since I have no minions to farm anyways. Xayah backing there. Janna flashes forward to stop the back. I'm just trying to take the minions. Rakan now shows up, and now it becomes a fight. Xayah gets a pretty nice root onto me. Rakan doesn't live on 1 HP. And honestly, I feel that the only reason why we won this fight is because we're so far ahead and they're so far behind. Right? I'm like 4k gold up on Xayah, or like at that point it was 3k plus gold up on Xayah. And I think the only reason why that actually worked out was just because of how ahead we were compared to them, right? And here we even complete our Blade of the Boon King. Because I actually think they played that fight pretty well, right? Rakan hit his knockup, Xayah hit all her feathers, and I don't think there's a lot they could have done to play the fight better. As Yasuo just blocks my arrow. I'm going to stop him from taking the tier 2 inhib though. Not going to let that happen. But yeah. So yeah, it's just a wallet differential at this point. Once again, Yasuo is trying to steal the red buff, and I'm just trying to wait for an opportunity to snipe, but he sees me and puts up the wind wall. Maybe if I stood over the wall instead of standing where I was, maybe I would have had a better chance of stealing, because he maybe wouldn't know I was there. Here is going to go back to clearing the wave. And there's a mid lane wave as well. Enemy team takes Baron in the meanwhile though. So it's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, with Lee Sin dead, there was a high likelihood of that happening, but there's not a lot I can do. Like even though I knew it was happening, there's no real point of me walking to Baron in my opinion. Here Janna gets completely caught out. There's nothing much I can do to help her. Kassadin is now behind enemy lines. Looks like he's in trouble as well, but he's able to port over the wall. He's now running. And he's going to run to me and set in the tower, right? So here I'm actually positioning in a safe enough location, but a location that I can kind of help my team if a fight actually breaks out, which it kind of semi is. However, it's not really fully breaking out, so I'm just going to rotate over to mid lane to just clear the wave here, because you know, the goal is just getting wasted, dying to the tower there.
Turret lost.
Once again, just clearing the minion wave. Fight is breaking out now, so I'm going to rotate over to the fight. I hit a nice ulti, and here Morgana almost dies, but doesn't now. Here Yasuo, I'm just whacking him from behind. He goes down, and Bessa ults me, unfortunately. I'm now just in trouble. I flash away, trying to survive. Unfortunately, I can't survive, and as a result, I do end up dying. Now, honestly, my biggest obstacle at the moment is... Honestly, there's not one biggest obstacle, but two, right? Obviously, it's Mbessa and Yasuo, right? Like, Morgana at this point is not a problem. She might be a problem later on, and the most is that she can maybe root me or slow me with the Rylai's. So not a very major problem, right? As we all know, Xayah and Rakan are pretty far behind, right? So they're not really huge problems either. Right, like, Rakan, I guess, is a problem because of his CC, but in general, they have not really been very threatening, right? But Mbessa, she gets on top of me, she just kills me. Yasuo, same story. So, unfortunately, against the both of them, I am definitely scared of them, right? So I don't want to be fighting them in melee range, definitely, right? I want to be fighting them at range and, you know, in a position where I can, you know, of course, just kill them, and they can't reach me, which, of course, is a very doable situation if I don't get hit by the Mbessa ult or a Yasuo tornado, right? Getting hit by Yasuo tornado is not very likely unless I'm badly out of position. Of course, there's Rakan knockup that I have to watch out for as well, which will allow Yasuo to jump to me and reach the backline. Now here, Set is getting ganked by Mbessa and Yasuo, the two people I'm very afraid of. Now, I don't think I can help him whatsoever. I try to contribute an ult, but it doesn't really happen. And in fact, I'm now in trouble myself. And Jenna has to come help me out to ensure I'm not getting caught. Now, the good news there is Mbessa used the ult onto Set, and she doesn't have ult to actually go on me. So here is not a very bad... that's not a very bad thing in my opinion, right? So here I also am able to back and pick up my Rift Makers. I'm on my 4-item Power Spike. So if a fight breaks out here, which we all know it will, right? I'm gonna have, you know, 4 full items ready to rock and roll. And unfortunately now, Mbessa has her ult back up. She actually ults onto the Janna instead of me, right? So here you can see, when she doesn't ult me, I can just focus her down and just kill her, right? No big deal, right? But if she's ulting me, then there's a problem, right? So here I kill the Morgana as well. Now the Yasuo wind wall is just blocking all of my damage. I'm just walking back to the base and getting back health. Getting a stasis as well while I'm at it, just in case we get into a situation. Now Yasuo, Cassidy is chasing the Rakan, and he's going to be chasing all the way, right? And meanwhile, Xayah and Yasuo are chasing him. Now Cassidy, I think he's able to waste a lot of time at the minimum. If he dies, he's minimally going to waste a lot of time. If he doesn't die, that's great, because he's super mobile. He might be able to just outrun the two of them. Nice, so in the meanwhile, I'm not wasting time. I'm just going to be farming up these minions on the side lane, which have, of course, accumulated because we've lost Inhibitor, and that's going to allow me to get a lot of extra gold, which is going to come in very, very handy. And now Dragon is up, right? So I know a fight at Dragon's going to happen. Of course, Yasuo is there, face-checking into my team. My team is giving him a pummeling. I'm taking the Hex Gate up to see if I can stop him. Now, he's actually running away through the Tribush, and I don't think it's worth it to chase him. But Mbessa now goes on to, once again, someone who's not me, and I'm just re-hitting on her again. Now, I'm in trouble here. I'm like 1v2, 1v3. I pop the stasis, and Jenna is able to save my life with the help of the stasis, and now Morgana is in trouble. I pick up the Quadra kill, and Rakan is missing. Now, I can only assume Rakan has recalled, but that was almost a pentakill, and here now I'm going to go for the Dragon. Just running over the wall in case Rakan tries any funny business. No funny business here. And yeah, now 17, 2, and 7. Yeah, still at like 1 kill a minute. That's probably why it's like better than 100% of Varus's. But here I'm going to clear the wave. Now Baron is up and our team is kind of respawning. However, don't think it's a great time to start Baron. There's a huge bot wave pushing in and we need to clear that. I'm now full build, actually, so I'm not actually going to go and clear that wave. I'm going to let my teammates clear the wave so they can get to their item breakpoints. I also swapped my Gluttonous Grease for defensive boots because I have more than enough healing from my build now, from Riftmaker and from Bork. That I don't actually need the healing from the boots anymore. I actually rather have the armor from the boots to help me out against the Mbessa as well as the Yasuo. Now, of course, here I have to just wait for my team. Can't really do anything. Now, yes, it's a choke point. Mbessa ults in once again to someone who's not me. So here, I'm just gonna start blasting. Now, Mbessa and Yasuo, sorry, unfortunately lives on 1 HP. Now here I have my full build. I'm just running them down. Not running them down, but kiting them out. And yeah, we just kill all of them basically, and we can probably just end the game at this point. But yeah, so you can see that, you know, on-hit Varus is really, really strong, given the right circumstances. Like, no one was really able to kill me. Like, I think Mbessa kind of messed up by not ulting me like the last 3 times she had ult. She ulted someone else, and that just allowed me to kill her, right? If she ulted me, she probably would kill me, and then I can't kill anybody. But she not ulting me basically won us the game. So here, as you guys can see, we're just going to finish off the Nexus. And as usual, I'm going to leave you guys with the stats. So thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.